Welcome to Just Jesus, where my goal is to help you to have a rich relationship with Jesus Christ in this life and then one day on into eternal glory. I want to share with you today a story about a great young man named Chamnan. I met Chamnan in 2012 in Cambodia, where we have a mission work there, and I've been over there many, many times now. And we were having a leader care seminar where we had invited in about 25 house church leader preachers that have house churches under their bamboo hut or under their house. That's up on stilts. So some of them occasionally they'll have a building even. But usually all of our work is in the villages, so most of the time when we're there, there's no electricity or anything. So we brought in about 25 house church leaders to a seminar to help equip them with more Bible knowledge so they could help their people. And the name of our ministry is Cambodia Christian Ministries, in case you ever would like to look at it at cambodiaministries.org. And so there also we had mixed in our preacher students. And so as I began to meet people and began to teach, I saw this young guy that was kind of hunched over a little bit, and his hands were kind of crippled up a little bit. And during break, I thought maybe Sacombe, my partner, had lost his mind. I said, why would you bring this guy to a leader care seminar? And because the leader care seminars just last for 2 days. And of course, then we have a 2-year preaching school. And he said, "Oh, brother," he said, he's not one of the leaders. He's actually coming in. He's one of our new students in the school for the next 2 years." And I thought, man, you're really off your rocker. And then over the next 2 days, I got to meet Chamnan more. And I ended up doing a lot of repenting for judging on the outside rather than seeing where this guy really was. Really a humble, loving, spiritual, young Christian man, about 30 years old. And what happened was he had this squeaky voice where it was hard to understand him. He did speak some English. He did speak fairly good English. And so I got to visiting with him. I asked him what happened to his voice. And he said, well, he worked in a clothing factory over there. They have many, many sweatshops, and people will be driving down the road. You'll see like a cattle truck, and it's got about 100 people standing up in it. And they're young people headed to the factory to work and make clothing and so on. And he worked in one of these sweatshops. And of course, the conditions are not very good. And he touched a live wire and was electrocuted. It blew out his vocal cords, and he had a stroke. And that also caused his hands to kind of turn in, where he had some usage of his hands, but it's not really very good. So he got into the school. So as I'm teaching in the school, a lot of times when I would go over there, I would ask the class questions, see if they could answer some of the questions after I taught some things. And inevitably, it was always Chamnan raising his hand. He always had the answer. And no matter what the question was, other students may raise their hands, but sometimes nobody raised their hands except for Chamnan. So sometimes I would play a little game, and I would pull out $1,000 real, which is like 25 cents, their $1,000 bill, and say, okay, anybody can answer this question? I got $1,000 here. And Chamnan, boom, up his hand would go, and sometimes I would actually have to say, okay, I have a question, but Chamnan, you cannot answer this one, and to give the other students a chance. And so one day I took out a $1 American bill, American dollar. They thought that was wow, and Chamnan ended up with it. And so I nicknamed him Lexus, because over there they'll be driving down in Phnom Penh, in the capital, where we had the school at that time. You'll see Lexus. Some of the doctors and business people will drive Lexus. Most of the people are on motorbikes, and they'll have big 12-inch letters that say Lexus. Is kind of a social status thing. So I nicknamed him Lexus. But I thought, I told Sacombe after he was in school, Chamnan was in school for about a year. I told Sacombe, if I ever were to move to Cambodia to do mission work, I would beg Chamnan to be my partner, because he is so unassuming, so honest, so pure-hearted, so knowledgeable, so loving, kind. People are very open to him. And he went back to his village and began a ministry. in the Pravang province, which is right near the Vietnam border, southeastern Cambodia. And he taught young people English there and would teach Bible and English at the same time. Had a little house church, his own family, his mom, his dad, his siblings, and some other neighbors would come. And then he also was teaching and converting some of the local Buddhists, especially young people, to becoming Christians. And it was he had an amazing ministry. Well, on April 18th, 2018, he never woke up in the morning and fell asleep in the Lord, and which is a great way to go if you're a Christian. You don't want to die if you're not a Christian, but if you're a Christian, the best way to go is just to wake up with the Lord. And that's what he did April 18, 2018, at the age of 35, rather. And one of the Christian magazines, Christian Chronicle, did an article on him, and we entitled it "A Squeaky Voice, Mighty Oak Falls." And it was a story about Chamnan. What a great young Christian man. And I thought, I learned so much from Chamnan about not pigeonholing or judging people on the outside, kind of like with David. God didn't want any of the older brothers. He wanted David because God said, man looks at the outside appearance, I look at the heart. And that's the way Chamnan was. And I thought, I can learn a lot from Chamnan, and I hope maybe you've learned a few things from about Chamnan today that you have maybe learned just by maybe looking at his picture that I hope will be on our YouTube, where you can see what he looked like, and that I want to be more like him. I need to be humble. I need to be loving. I need to be kind. I need to have joy and peace in my heart. I need to be close to the Lord. All of these things, he had all of those things in his spirit, and a great guy for us to imitate as we follow Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that I'll see you next time. Have a great day close to Jesus.